What's going on, everybody? So the live letter for patch 6.2 was this morning and was packed with info. Not everyone has enough time to sit through 3.5 hours though. So I wanted to put together a quick recap with everything in it. Warning though, there are going to be spoilers going up in patch 6.1. So if you don't want to be spoiled by the game or you're still playing through it, just turn the video off. Go play the game. I'd much rather you go enjoy the story, see it for yourself. Before we dive into it though, hit that subscribe button. It's free for you and honestly helps me out so much. And it also appeases, the almighty algorithm, so yay.
There was once light here, and it shone its warmth upon creation.
Of course, Live Letter had to start out something big, revealing the trailer for patch 6.2 along with its release date, which is August 23rd. I don't want to spend too much time diving into the full trailer, and I think it's something you should watch for yourself, and after you do, check out my reaction to the English version, which the link is down below. I had to wait until a bit later on the Live Letter to watch it since they aired the Japanese version first, which, for obvious reasons.
And who better to bear Heideling's gift than her chosen champion?
Your hosts for today's presentation are the usual duo of FoxClon, which is such a cool name, I just learned about it today, and the Grand Daddy Black Mage himself, Yoshi P. After the trailer, the first thing they started going over was the new MSQ, along with the new part of Tataru's Grand Endeavor and Hildebrand's Adventures, which sadly is coming in patch 6.25. I just really love him. Also coming in 6.25 are the new weapon enhancement quests, which are unlocked with the Somehow Further Hildebrand Adventures, and the new tribal quests for the Omicrons, which are going to be for the Gatherers. They also showed Loprits, and I'm here for it. I love those little moon bunnies. The Fell Court of Troya, which is the newest dungeon, was also discussed, along with mentioning the newest trial and its extreme counterpart, which are both releasing day one and will be tied in with the MSQ. Pandemonium continues with Abyssos, and the Savage version is releasing 1 week later. They explained this decision was because players were saying they couldn't enjoy the story while trying to get world first for the Savage raids. I honestly think this is a great decision. It allows players to enjoy the MSQ before battling out to see who's going to be world first for Savage. And if you're a hardcore raider and you attempt world first and things like that, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions and take on this. Apparently the new Savage tiers are also going to be extremely difficult and have a lot of new mechanics, and you know what new mechanics means. It means us Black Mage mains are going to stand in them and we're going to die. Next up, they discussed additional improvements to older MSQ. They added duty support for the Heavensward dungeon, changed the Steps of Faith to a solo quest battle, and revamped only the normal mode for Thorn March, which I'm really curious to see. I just don't think I'm ready to have Harsh Font with me when running the vault. RIP, best bro. RIP. Next up, they reminded everyone of the adventure plates and portraits coming out beta into official release. They also clarified that if you link your portrait to an adventure plate or gear set, it will remain intact after 6.2, so make sure anything you want to keep is linked to either or. A few minor talking points were briefly mentioned here. Another reminder about the tombstones that calls LLD being added, new high item level crafted gear, the ability to request repairs from other players, both in and out of duty, which is awesome. The combo sequences being displayed in the action list, rare materials being added to reductions performed by miners, botanists, and fishers. The glamour dresser capacity getting expanded from 400 to 800, which Yoshi P told everyone to not fill it up with every item you find, because he knows everyone already wants it to be higher. And last, just mentioning adjustments to the order of Return the Evil East quest. They're also planning to continue slowly updating the game for the 7.0 graphics update. So with patch 6.2, there will be optimized graphics processing, which helps alleviate drops in frame rate when your GPU is overloaded, and the beta version of Dynamic Resolution function, which can adjust the resolution of 3D graphics to help prioritize frame rate over resolution when needed. This function has to be turned on and off, so if you don't want to bother with it, it's not something you need to have on. And this will be for PC, PS4, and PS5 versions. Job adjustments. The thing we all love and hate. They didn't go into details or specifics, but did say that there are no major overhauls, but minor adjustments for a few jobs will be added, alongside explanations for each change. I honestly thought this was something they already did, but love that they're adding it now. The devs for Final Fantasy XIV are some of the most player-based, and always seem like they do their best at being open with communication with players. It's a game handled by players, so they understand the player mindset going into things. There are going to be critical and direct hit adjustments as well. Apparently actions that always guarantee critical or direct hits never receive buffs or debuffs, so they're going to be inflicting more or less damage moving forward depending on the buff or debuff. Actions that guarantee a direct hit will now be dealing additional damage depending on your direct hit rate. More adjustments to PvP actions are being added. Hidden Gorge is returning, and PvP Series 2 will begin. Rewards will be updated, and level and experiences will be reset. They're allowing Season 1 rewards to be claimed up until the end of Series 2, so you still have plenty of time. Series 3 of Crystalline Conflict Ranked is also here, which is now going to demote you down from Diamond or Crystal based on performance. So if you're lowest Crystal and lose a game, you go down to highest Diamond. Lowest ranked Diamond, you go down to highest ranked Platinum. Everything else is going to be the same. I don't believe it was mentioned if there is going to be any requirement to continue playing in order to maintain your rank, but they did specify that as long as you reach a certain rank for the season, you will get those rewards. Along with this update, all players that ranked will be starting at Bronze 3 for this season, and they'll be adding some enhanced matching based on tier population and other variables. So I'm excited to play Crystalline Conflict at the start of the season, just for how chaotic it's going to be. And for those of you who like to quit mid-duty or after matching just for funsies, apparently there'll be stricter penalties starting Season 3. Yoshi P showed off some pro Black Mage skills while fighting the cutest carbuncle of all time. Yes, that's a carbuncle. Everybody, meet Proto Carbuncle. Adorable. The arena for the fight seems more narrow than usual, so looking forward to whatever ridiculous mechanics they throw at us for this one. This part was just showing off the classic printed images. The first time I ever saw a live letter, I was surprised to use paper like this to showcase new stuff, but it's grown on me so much, I love it. The first images are from the new crafting gear, then the raid gear. I believe it's just for the tombstones, I wasn't able to fully clarify though, and it looks so cool. I love the design for the red mage set they showed off, excited to see the rest of them in game too. Now me, loving to be gaudy and overly flashy in games, loved the new VFX armor they showed off. I need it. I really need it. They're thankfully also going to be lowering the required amount of Abyssos Mythos 2 for gear equipped to head, hands, and feet from 6 to 4, so it'll be a little bit easier to get the full set. This does not apply to the previous raids. They touched upon the Omicron travel quest next. I personally can't wait to hang out their cafe in Ultima Thule so I can tear up over the music while enjoying scalding hot coffee. Delicious sorrow. But my brain was soon emptied by no other thoughts than the space jellyfish. Space jellyfish that shrinks you down and you float in it in a space inside a jellyfish. Space jellyfish. I need this so badly, it looks so ridiculous, I cannot wait for it. This will all be coming in 6.25 as well, so we have time to take care of the plethora of other things coming in 6.2, because the next thing they go over is honestly an entire game in itself. That's right, the most anticipated part. Island Sanctuary is finally shown off. There's so much for Island Sanctuary that can honestly be an entire video on its own. I was keeping my expectations pretty low until we saw more info for it, but after seeing this, my expectations are through the roof and it looks so fun. Before they even explain anything, you can just see the scope of the island you have. It's huge. Yoshi P was smart starting off the highest point of the island because it really showcases the scope of everything. Finally, the Warrior of Light gets something for saving the universe. An entire island balances out, I'd say. The zone itself looks beautiful and so relaxing. Just from seeing this, I knew I was going to spend hours here. They're able to explain the Island Sanctuary with excellent detail. It's going to start with a tutorial that lasts about 2.5 hours, which will unlock your island hall, which is your main, base of operations, I'd say, complete with vendors, which are called Nekomimi, and they're horribly adorable. You don't need any prior crafting or gathering jobs or items to come in here. You craft all of your tools with items found on the island. Everything here is self-contained, so there's no need to stress over getting seeds or farming gear or anything like that. It has its own specific UI system, which Yoshi P showed off extensively throughout the presentation. Thankfully, there's also a unique inventory for the island, which is a huge help to people like me, who look like they just throw their things in a bag and they call it organized. There's a gathering log as well, and you can swap to gathering in order to see nodes around the island and on the minimap. You can also capture animals to bring back to your farm too. They showed these little monkey dudes off, but said there will be a lot more. You can store them alongside your crops and you can even name them. So I'm absolutely naming them after Twitch chat whenever we start this. You can also have up to 40 minions on the island, just wandering around. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy photo opportunities with this. Some more info on building was discussed too. Earlier buildings would be instant builds at first, but some will eventually take longer to build. An example was a 12-hour timer for one. But the good thing is we can queue up for things from the island itself. So if you want to queue up for your dailies while working on your farmland and waiting for something to build, you can. And of course, it's not without its own glam, which you can buy from the Nekomimi vendors in your island hall, alongside other items and mounts and stuff. The last bit of in-game information they discussed were the variant dungeons, which will be another feature coming in 6.25. These are casual play for 1 to 4 players with no role restrictions. You can also just change jobs mid-duty. And it has different progression branches based on player actions. The enemy strength is also determined by party size, so if you want to go in and try and beat it solo, you can. They'll have specific actions for it as well that various roles can use, so if you want to be a tank DPS or a healing tank, you can. I know I want to try and take it as a black mage. It's not like I move from attacks anyway. The part that surprised me the most actually was that Nanamo will be going with you into the dungeon. I'm assuming that the first one, the Sildin Subterrane, will be under Ul'dah, and that's how she gets involved. They spent a lot of time going over the gameplay for the variant dungeons, with Yoshi P running through it solo. He refused to open a personalized treasure chest. Who could pass up treasure? This drove me nuts, but I know they do it to tease us what the gear and loot will be, and it works. It did specifically say that there will be mount rewards too, like the adorable flying squirrel thingy with a light-up tail. But he wasn't done yet. They still had to go over to the Criterion dungeons, another sealed-in subterrane, and another sealed-in subterrane savage, or Ass and Ass Savage for short. The normal mode is already a high difficulty, with Savage being even harder. There will be matchmaking for this on normal, and normal red spells will be prohibited, and each player is granted a limited use of Variant Raise 2. Defeated enemies will also not revive after a party KO, but Ass Savage is a whole different affair. You need to have a preformed party, no res spells or variant actions are allowed, and enemies will revive after a party KO, and enemies also become stronger over time. Yoshi P showed off the gameplay for the dungeon itself by saying he had to go into God mode, which I just assumed he was always in, and instant kill whatever crossed his path until getting to the terrifying first boss, which is the same squirrel mount as earlier. Honestly, this fight looks insane, and I can't wait to try my hand at it and dive deep into Ass and Ass Savage with patch 6.25. I know what I said. That's it for the in-game news. The rest of the live letter was focused on various other items, like a new orchestral concert, which is sadly not being shown online, and if you go, you can get this really awesome looking light up Elpis flower. I truly wish I can get one, they look so cool. They mentioned Final Fantasy XIV being at PAX Australia, a Mog Shoot Farm live stream August 15th to 19th, which I'm really hoping is just a live stream of animals on a farm decorated to look like Final Fantasy, because it's based on a real farm, so I'm hoping. The jacket that Yoshi P was wearing the entire live stream is also going to be on sale, with the website breaking immediately. You all are intense, and I love it. That jacket is worth it. I also showed a few more items, and they said that Square is hiring, so if you're in game design and need a gig, check it out.
You're not the only ones who can ride the wind.
Overall, a jam-packed live letter that shows just how massive patch 6.2 is going to be. Outside I was most excited for the Hildebrand quest since I just finished them last week. All my playthroughs and reactions are uploaded here. The playlist link is down below, but since that's 6.25, I have to say I don't have one specific thing I'm excited for. There's so much, and I want to do everything day one, which I will try to do over on Twitch. So if you don't follow me there, go check it out, twitch.tv/Jack_Shippo. I'll plan to go live right as servers turn on, super early in the morning, so I'll be downing caffeine while getting through the new MSQ. I'll be putting all my videos and reactions up on YouTube throughout the day as well. Thank you all so much for watching my live letter recap. I'm looking forward to doing one for every live letter moving forward. If you like my content and the vibes here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It means the world to me, and I'd love to have you along for the ride while we keep growing. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all on patch day.